Right, there we go, sorted. We are live, finally. Sorry I was a bit late. I was trying to get the streaming thing working. And I apologise about my horrible face as well, because it's all red raw, shaved. Look how red and horrible that is. Anyway, not much I can do about it. So we are here to talk about WargamerOnline Chronicles. We did this last year, and it was very successful. Loads of you took part. You all built armies from all sorts of things. It was Sigmar and 40k again. But yeah, about 1,000 points is what we aimed for. I think we did it over 1 or 2 months. It wasn't a very long period at all. And loads of people took part. You basically pick an army from scratch. Or you know, something you've got in your wardrobe, your shelf of shame, or your wardrobe of shame, or your car of shame, as Dave's got. His boot is full of Warhammer. And you basically plan out your army list. You break it down into segments of how you want to do the army, and then over a period of time you try and get it painted and finished. And the whole time, whenever you finish a unit or you finish a hero or whatever milestone you've given yourself, you basically upload that somewhere on the internet so that people can see it. So that could be on the Facebook community page, so the WargamerOnline community page that we've got set up. It could be on your own pages, so if you've got your own Facebook group or you've got your own Facebook club or page or whatever it is. If you have a Twitter account, if you have a Instagram account, if you're on YouTube and you've got a YouTube channel and you're taking part in this, you could do a video and you basically just log your progress, and anything that's related to the WargamerOnline Chronicles, we compile it together and we'll put it on the forum, we'll put it on the website, and try to make a compilation of everything. So at the end, when everybody's finished, and it will be a long time, it's going to be August that we're going to end this, you basically make sure everything's uploaded on the internet and we can compile it and make one big video of how everyone's done over the period of time. Hi Sam, don't worry about your face. We have eyelids which we can close. You should do that. You should do that very much so. The biggest thing that's different from last year, obviously we knew what we did last year. It was a lot of work in a short space of time and so many people did it still. This year we made it longer. So you've got till August the 1st to do it from now. So that's the deadline, first thing. But we've also got the forum set up. So if you go to WargamerOnline.com, a lot of you are already on there anyway, but you can make a free account, go to the forum, and you can, you know what, let's just bring it up. It'll be easier. Sorry to bore everybody who does this. You know, we do this quite often so that people can see it, but you go to the website, click on this menu thing, go down to forum, and then I've made a new forum within this. So it's in the painting and modelling section. So you just scroll down a bit. We've got all these different topics. Scroll down to WGO Chronicles 2018. I've only made it today. So you click on that. You wait for it to load. Ta-da! And then in here, you just press new topic. So if you've got an account, you can make one up here. You just log in and do whatever. But you go down onto here, you press new topic. And in the new topic, just to keep it as simple as possible, all we're asking you to do is to do your name, and you can do a hyphen or whatever, but name whichever army you want to do, and then whichever system it's a part of. And you can do that. So if in this space of time, and then you just, we've already done it there. In this space of time, if you decide between now and August that you could get 4 armies done, you could do 4 separate logs on here, and we'll, compile all of them together. But I've made this thread. As soon as I start doing updates on my army, I'll go down here, I'll type in whatever the update is. I can link in a file because we've paid so that we have the hosting on our website, so you don't have to faff around with hosting elsewhere. So you can just literally attach a file and then chuck it in there, and that's it. So easy. There we go. There's some of my older pictures. If you decide you don't want to have some of your older pictures, you can delete them at any point. But if you delete it, it gets removed from your forum thread, so just be aware of that. These were my little dwarves that I did last time. Okay. So it's as simple as that. You pick an army, you aim for however much you want. So some people like Elstonation, he could probably do 1,000 points in an evening. He could probably aim for like a 3,000 point army until August, and he would still get it done. Depending on what you're able to do, just do that basically. And it's designed so that you'll be encouraged and motivated to do it. So when you start using the forum and you post new progress and everybody's doing it, people will just give you comments and criticism if you ask for it, and it will keep you wanting to do more and more with your army. It's also somewhere to log your progress. So all, well and good building and painting a model, but it's nice to actually show it to other people on the internet who are interested in the same hobby. So having it on there is a good thing to do. And because it's on the forum, it doesn't disappear unless you delete it yourself. So in a year's time, if you say, oh, I did this army for the WargamerOnline Chronicles 2018, and somebody says, oh, cool, where is all of that? You just send them a link to it and they can see it. One, it sends people to our forum, which is a good thing because the more people on our website, the better. But it's obviously free to do that. It's not going to cost you anything. But for yourselves and for anybody else wanting to be doing something similar, then it's just a really good way to share the hobby around a lot more. If you are going to be doing this Chronicles event and you want to share it on places like Facebook or YouTube or Instagram, we've done the same hashtag as last year, but we've just put 2018 at the end of it, just so it differentiates it between last year's hashtag, so that we won't get things from last year. So I've put it in the description below. All the information is in the description for this video. Have a good read through it if you're going to be taking part in the Chronicles, just to get the information. Any other questions, put it in the comments afterwards, and I'll answer it. And then anybody else reading who has a question can read those comments, and maybe it will be answered without asking it again. But what was I saying? Blah 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 blah. I was saying something. Hashtag, there we go. So it's hashtag WGO Chronicles 2018, all one word. It's in the description. Make sure you put that in. And then whenever we search for that hashtag, it will bring up everything related to it. So it's easy for us to find and collate at the end. What else have I put in here? So it's from now until the 1st of August. That's simple enough. Oh yeah, some people were asking about what armies they could do, so whether they could do different systems. Last year we did Age of Sigmar on Warhammer 40k. This year we'll probably still focus on Age of Sigmar and 40k, but if you wanted to do another game like Infinity, like somebody asked, or Warhammer Hordes, or whatever sort of system you wanted to do that's around the 1,000 point mark equivalent. So I know certain game systems like Infinity, you'll have 1,000 points of Infinity is too much. Just if it's 100 points equivalent in Games Workshop games, just do something reasonable for yourself, and that's no problem. You can put it on the forum. That's why we've got the system search. So you'll have your name, the army, and the system, so that people will be able to see what system it's from. It also allows people to go, maybe they're not interested in Infinity at the minute, but if you're posting your army up for the Chronicles, they might look at it and go, oh, that's a cool looking system and game, or miniatures, and they might be interested in it. So it's a good way to get people into that as well. So that's the other question. What was the other one? Another one was, I think it was from Marty maybe, or Daryl. I think it might have been Daryl asking, can you use stuff that you've already bought that's unpainted? And obviously you can, Daryl. We're not going to make you go down to your local Games Workshop or wherever you buy your stuff from and purchase a whole new army just to take part in the Chronicles. It's designed for two things. One, for people with the area of shame, whatever you've got, you can get some of these models out. You can do something with them, because when you bought them, you obviously had an idea of what you wanted to do with it, and this is to get you wanting to actually do something with it, or having a purpose. So it's probably more than anything to get people to clear their cupboards of shame more than anything. But it's also for people like me and Patrick and many others who want to start a brand new army and build it for something. So I'm going to be doing my army for the tournament later on in the year, as long as it doesn't collide with all the other events we've got going. I'm crossing my fingers, because that will be a really bad moment if it clashes with something. So for me, I've got my Blight War sets, I've bought the 50 quid Vanguard set, and I'll be starting my Stormcast for this Chronicles event. Alongside that, I'm going to be doing probably I want to do my Black Dragons or my White Scars. Ideally, I'd do my White Scars, but I think it's going to be too expensive, because I'm going to need far too many Custodes bikers to convert them with Primaris. So it's going to be a lot of money. Whereas the Black Dragons, I've already got the standard single post stuff, so I can paint them no problem. So it's down to yourself what you want to do. But yes, by all means, use models that you've already got. Buy models for a new army, whichever way suits yourself. And I just know there's a lot of people that are asking for the Chronicles. We said we were going to do it in February. People wanted it in November last year. We've put it back now and it's April. So it's not too long, and it will last till August. We'll see how this one goes, and potentially we might do one sooner. We might do one in a year's time again, to give people a chance to get back at it again. Henry Armstrong, nearly at 10,000 subs, guys. Well done. Thank you, Henry. And when we hit 10k, I know Phil's got a bunch of stuff he's giving away. So we've been speaking to different suppliers to get some bits and pieces. Obviously, we've been putting money out of our own pocket to buy prizes so that we can give them away as well. So anyone who's a premium subscriber, you're waiting for these premium giveaways and stuff, 10,000 is when we're going to be doing the next one. So I want to give away as much as possible to the premium subscribers, because that's the people who are, you know, helping us do what we're doing with the website and the channel. But we also want to do bits for YouTube as well. But for that, I said we were going to try and do more content. And we've got some good stuff coming up. We've potentially got somebody who may be able to do battle reports with me, which means there'll be a lot more battle reports again. And it's a familiar face, which people have been asking for a while. Many of you have been saying something, but we don't say his name because then it just turns into a hashtag wall. So we don't say it, but I'm excited. Phil's excited, he's excited, and potentially we've got the option to do a lot more content again. We're changing the setup in the studio, you know, the one that's not Phil's, so we can do more. So he can do more battle reports. I just read Amit's comment. I wish I had a wife to divorce. I'm so lonely, so sadly alone. Blooper reel. Magic Mike. Yes, maybe Thordalim. Right, let's go through the comments, because tonight I was going to do a video, so rather than just doing the WGO Chronicles, any more questions actually before we move on? I'll go through the chat, but ask any more questions about Chronicles, and if there isn't any more, we can move on to the next bit. Magic returns. Is this a return of MM? Here we go. Started it already. We'll go through the chat, and then we'll get down to the bottom of the chat. God, that's a lot of chat. And then we'll talk about the next topic, which is the... oh my God, I've just been talking about it, the Deepkin, the Ideneth Deepkin. And I've spent... It's not as good as I was wanting it to be. I wanted to do some lore videos for the channel. And I spent an hour doing a lore video, which isn't enough time to do a lore video, but I feel like I got more information in it than I wanted to. Well, more information than I expected to. And I could have probably talked a little bit more. But what I wanted to do is... Oh, I can't even hear stuff. 20 quid, bring back Mike. From Stalker 40k. Thank you, Stalker 40k. That's much appreciated. Phil said he was really gutted because he was saying, everyone goes hashtag Magic Mike and Magic Mike come back and all this. Why don't I get my own hashtag? And I was like, you just get a hashtag, you know. Mike just gets hashtags. That's Mike's thing. He has hashtags. Please like and subscribe. Oh, looking forward to the 10k giveaway. Yeah, I don't even know what's going to be in the 10k giveaway. I just know we're going to be spending a ton of money and getting a bunch of stuff to give away. So Phil hasn't told me what we're getting yet, so I can't really say anything at all. Oh yeah, the Deepkin. So what I wanted to do was I wanted to do like some sort of animation in the background. So whatever I'm talking about, some cool little animations, but that's far too much work. And then I thought maybe I could put pictures or, you know, relating to all the stuff that I'm talking about. But obviously the book isn't out, so I can't take pictures from the book and put it into there. I've used 4 pictures off the community website, I think it is. So it's not exactly full of pictures. So the video, and it's coming out at 10 o'clock tonight. So if anybody's interested in Age of Sigmar and you're interested in... I need to check now because I can't hear things. So if anybody does subscribe or donate, I have to catch it. Anyway. What was I saying, Sam? If anybody's watching the video at 10 o'clock, if they're interested in Age of Sigmar or Ideneth Deepkin, give it a watch, because I really couldn't care less about them before. And me and Patrick were chatting at Warhammer World, and he was talking about the new elves, and I was like, meh, don't care. And Phil said, do the elves, Sam, they're your army, it's elves. And I was like, don't care. And then Liam turned up, and he dropped this, the White Dwarf, and I just had a quick flick through, and I got to the Ideneth Deepkin, and I started seeing the concept art, and then I started reading some of the details, some of the information, and I was like, what is this? This is some good background, actually. So I ignored Liam, Dave, Rachel and Mike, and I came up to the study and I just sat reading. That's how, you know, it gripped me straight away. I was like, I can't hear while everyone's talking, so I went upstairs and just sat reading all of the story. Brilliant. It's so good. It's so dark, and it's brilliant. It's fresh, but it's also quite similar. If you like Dark Eldar and Dark Elves mixed with High Elves, it's a mix of it's a mix of elven stuff, and it's really good. So at 10 o'clock tonight, I'm releasing the video. Don't expect anything in terms of flashy stuff or anything like that, because it's just boring backgrounds. But it's me talking about the Ardeneth Deepkin, and it's well worth a watch if you're interested in any of that stuff. Anyway, the chat's gone down, so it's deleted some stuff from the top, so I'm going to try and catch up. So Daryl is on here, and Daryl did say something. I think he put a comment in one of the videos the other day I was reading. It might have been yesterday. Where are you, Daryl? Where are you, Daryl? There we go. Oh, +1 on what Marty said. Marty said, finally got to catch up on this. This was the Stormcast building session, talking about the return of WGO Chronicles. Happy about that, and I might have just started work on mine during this show catch-up, so nice one, Marty, on that one. And also, you offered some Space Wolf heads, which I may take the offer on. I put the heads onto my Vanguard things, and I've only used one Space Wolf head at the moment, but it depends what I can use, really, or stuff in the future. You can never have too many heads. Heads are the best part of Warhammer for me. Daryl then put, well up for Chronicles. I reckon I have at least 1,000 points of Blood Angels and AOS Corn I could do, so sign me up for both. Plus I already have paint logs set up, so winning. Yeah, so Daryl's already got paint logs on the forum, so if you ever want to see any of his stuff, head on over to the forum for that. I realise I do a lot of flapping my arms around. Right, so Marty Milligan is in. Al Kirkham as well. Welcome, Al. And you are working on another Tree Lord. Well, Sylvaneth are awesome. We were talking about these the other day. The rules are great. The models are brilliant. I'm not too keen on Dryads. I think they're quite, boring. They're great. They're trees. They look like trees. But the Tree Lords look really good. The two... I always forget the name. The Revenants, the two, spirits mixed with trees. They're really good models. Love them. And the Kurnoth Hunters, absolutely in love with those models too. Martin Dix, welcome Martin Dix. Holy moly, I thought I was early. You were indeed, but everybody was early today. Acharya is here, welcome. The master admin and king of WargamerOnline is Acharya. Coleman, Sam's on holiday. I'm not on holiday actually. I'm manning the fort at the minute. Phil is, where is he? He's there, look. Sitting up there in his yacht. Oh, what is he like? Anyway, Martin Dix. My pocket can't do that. My shame shelf is large as it is. Horny Morny is here. Welcome, Horny Morny. If you've got any questions, do the @WargamerOnline thing so that it flashes it up so I see it. But I'm going to try and go through these, talking about some weapons and things like that. Patrick's in the house. Welcome, Patrick. Keep going, Sam. Who just fell out of his chair? I think Daryl fell out of his chair for something. Derpimus Maximus is here. Welcome, Derpimus. I hope you're doing well. I hope it's not too cold up north. Very north. How many woods will you have? This was a question Patrick was asking me. How many woods should he take? How many woods should a Sylvaneth player use? And I said, take whatever you want, but bearing in mind that you'll kill me if you put too many down. Because I said I'm going to bring Stormcast. He said, well, I'm bringing Sylvaneth. And I said, would it be a good idea to go with Phil because then it's Sylvaneth with Sylvaneth? And he went, no. So now I'm going to be dodging the enemy and Patrick's woods. I think what he's decided is he didn't kill enough of the opponents in the games that we played in the last tournament. So he wants to be able to kill them and me. And then he can claim that he's killed 3,000 points in models with his 1,000 points instead. I think that's what he's trying to do. But we'll see. But I also need basing materials, not just standard flock. I've pretty much decided, I think, on the colour scheme for my Stormcast. I'm thinking Sotek green, and I know there's a type of chamber which I think it might be celestial something or other, but Sotek green. So they're quite bright bluey green coloured, and I want some dark coloured bases. I'm thinking to contrast with the light armour that they're going to have. But I also want some trees and branches that are coming around the bases. No idea what I'm going to do. There's probably going to be a lot of little, leaves from Green Stuff World. Rower is here. Welcome, Rower. I hope you are doing well. Jim Wilson. Hello, Jim. Ian Stanford and Graham Rigg. Welcome to both of you. And C. Mawson. I'm watching a live show from the start. Who would have thought? Well, it's always a good thing. Oh, man, I'm miles behind. Okay, Dunny Woods. Fell Hate. Keep going, Kiblams as well. Welcome, Kiblams. You're cracking on with your 30k stuff. That looks really good as well, Kiblams. Well done on that. Thordalim de Caladai. Dunny Woods has 5 Saurus Knights to finish, then a Beastclaw army to paint, so we'll do that for the WGO Chronicles, hopefully. Well, I look forward to that. And Phil was saying he had a game against Jack against Jack's Beastlord army, Beastclaw army, and it absolutely destroyed Phil. So I don't think Phil's really liking the Beastclaw at the moment. But he did say like he got destroyed in 2 turns, but he then also said he took the whatever they are, the Mournfang and stuff, down to 6 models out of the whole army in 1 turn. So it's swings and roundabouts, really. I think he got destroyed, but he also had so much damage output that it didn't really matter. New Chronicle has not even finished my previous one. Well, we've got longer this time, Thordalim. Not a year, but more than we had last year. C. Mawson, so bolt action would count because I handily bought the £90 British Army box deal that contains a 1,000 point army. It definitely would, C. Mawson. Chuck it in there, make a thread on the forum and start building it. You've got till August and you can do your 1,000 point British Army at the end. We'll take some pictures of all of it. Well, you'll take pictures and we'll steal them and put them on a video. Daryl, don't tempt me to buy a new army. I will be divorced by the end of the Chronicles. Mawson's going to do Warhammer 40k 2, as those armies are constantly expanding. So there we go, 2 1,000 point armies. There we go, nothing like being ambitious. Derpimus, so any have an approximate points value for the models in the Dark Imperium box. I believe it was around like 500 to 600 points if you were playing the Space Marine side. I think Chaos was a bit lower, might have been 400 or 500. The way that I generally work it out is, especially with like the getting started sets for Age of Sigmar, this is if you pay about £50 you get about 500 points worth of models, and if you pay like £100 you get about 1,000 points. So I always kind of budget an army, but then that's only if you're getting the getting started stuff. If you're paying the full price, it can be anything from like £150 to £200 for a 1,000 point army, especially if you're buying the new ones. We priced up a Daughters of Cain army because we did 2 separate lists, one which was full of the Snake Melusai women and another list which was just full of Sisters of Slaughter. It was absolutely disgusting. For 1,000 points, 2 units of 30 Sisters of Slaughter, the biggest queen woman on the back of a cauldron, and I think another priest or something. But it basically meant that the Sisters of Slaughter unit could teleport, I think, and it got extra attacks. I think it got rerolls. It was ignoring battle shock, and it just did a ton of attacks with loads of range. And it can stay out of 6 inches of the enemy and then pile in when it comes to theirs in the combat phase. So in Age of Sigmar, you have to be within 3 inches of an enemy unit to be able to pile in combat. With the Sisters of Slaughter, they have to be within 6 inches. So they can stay out of the 3 inches of the enemy units, but in their pile-in, they can just be within 6 inches and then pile in. They've got 2-inch range on all their whips, because that's what they got. And they just kill everything. Really nasty. Right, oh my god, it's done that stupid skipping thing again. Tom Wilson is saying Black Legion for 40k and either the Dispossessed or Skaven for Sigmar. Good choices again. I think Dispossessed need an update. I think they've got some okay stuff, but they're a bit slow. So you either go full static, shoot the hell out of everything, or you die. Skaven, I think there's a lot of potential. Mike's looking at expanding. I've told him if he does 2,000 points of his Skaven, which he's already got, I says paint them all, and then I'll buy you the Skaven Storm Shadespire team. So I think he's going to try and do it now, hopefully. Black Legion, speak to Marty if you can. Marty did the character from Creature Caster, no, not Creature Caster, War Games exclusive. If you look for the model from there, it's on the website. If you go on WargamerOnline, we did a tutorial on it, and it's an amazing model. So if you're doing Black Legion, it's a good excuse to buy that, Tom. Martin, hashtag just for Phil. Hashtag beard. There we go. He's got to be happy now. All of my hashtags are based around salt. So there's that. Marlborough, I haven't finished my WGO 2017 Chronicles yet. We'll finish it for 2018. There we go. That's to you and Thordalim. Both of you can do it. Acharya, first prize for the 10k giveaway. Phil's lucky beard trimmings. Yeah, that would be rubbish. Phil is too respectable for hashtags. He's not. He wants everything. He wants hashtags. He wants fire slayers. That's about it, really. He doesn't really want everything. Martin Dix, he should 3D print himself a hashtag. He don't say that, he will. And he'll put a WGO logo on it as well. Andrew's here. Welcome, Andrew. Coleman. Welcome, Coleman. Liam's here as well. Welcome. Carl Lewis. Carl. Welcome, Carl. I hope you're doing okay. Hashtag Sam the Man. That's the only hashtag that doesn't include salt. And that's because you don't do Warhammer, Carl. You're here just to watch me, which is a bit weird. Al Kirkham chatting to Coleman. T. Mawson. Okay, there's a lot of chat between each other. Loads of people. Red Cuffs. Welcome, Red Cuffs. How many woods would a Sylvaneth chuck if a Sylvaneth woodchuck would? That was what I was trying to think of, but I'm not quick enough for that. My brain doesn't engage, so thank you, Andrew, for giving us that. So, Daryl saying Celestial Vindicators. I think it is those. I think they're nice, but I wanted to do Balthazar gold armor trim rather than the bright Retributor gold burn your face out that sort of colour. I like the darker gold with the bright bluish colour scheme armor. Johnny Rockstar. When is the show supposed to begin? If you're on about this show, I mean 8 o'clock till 9 o'clock. If you're on about talking about general stuff, I don't really have schedules on a Saturday. What we were thinking of doing again, it was trying to do the more question and answer ones where we get 3 or 4 of us and we do a live show and we go through questions like we used to when we first started. So we have a bunch of topics. The reason we stopped was we ran out of topics. So maybe this comment section for this video will be filled with stuff. Maybe it will be filled with questions for WargamerOnline Chronicles, filled with why have you got a red patch on your neck, and maybe some questions or topics for us to use in future videos, because we will credit you if you ask a topic or a question and we use it in one of our things, then we will credit you for asking it. There we go. It's Rustbelt Blacksmith. Storm Brother Sam. I really like the Luminarch of Hyash as an ally for Stormcast. If you're not familiar, give it a look. Nice gun and spell, and the ward can stack with the Armour of Destiny. And Shielded by Faith. It's a disgusting unit. I did another list which consisted of the Luminarch, the other one, so the 2 war machines from those. It had the what is it called? The Malign Portent, the special hero dude. He's got a rule where I think if he stood next to a war machine, the war machine can shoot twice, and the shooting attack on one of those 2 big things is disgusting. So you pay 100 points to chuck that there. Maybe it wasn't that, but there was definitely something like that. Then there was the Silver Tower, the guy with the big warhammer. He's got an ability where he can heal things that he's next to, so I'll put that in there. 1 mage with wild form, I think it had, and then 2 units of handgunners. For 1,000 points, it's disgusting, but I can definitely see why you chuck the Luminarch and everything. It's just powerful as hell. Oh, it skipped again. I hate this. Fire Slayers and Beast Claws would be a terrifying combo to face. Yeah, it would, because the Fire Slayers, their slow mobility is countered by the fact that they can just teleport in your face, and all of those different runes can be activated at the right time to kill whatever you need. Ian Stanford loves Beastclaw Raiders. What are these points you talk of? Real gamers just use power levels. Neil, I think real gamers do just use power levels, but I'm not a real gamer. I have to have the very granular point system when I'm playing my games. I've tried power, and it works for some things, but not for others. Like some armies don't have all the options, if you get what I mean. Like you might, just for an example, you might pay 100 points for 5 guys, and their only weapon option is 1 weapon. So if they were playing in power, then 100 points quickly switches over to 5 power or whatever. You know what I mean? You can easily differentiate between the 2. But then some armies might be 5 guys that have maybe, you know, it's only 100 points for those 5 guys. But then you've got the option to put on weaponry, which would easily kill 30 guys or 20 guys. In a points game, you have to pay for that equipment. In a power game, you don't. So you pay the same price for 5 guys with rubbish 100-point weaponry, and you pay the same for one that can wipe out half an army. I'm still dying again. So I think certain aspects of power are good, but others aren't. I'm just going to take a drink as well, because my cough is still here. In my tournament army, I got 3 Thunder Tusks. That's horrible, Ian. That's very horrible. But very easy to paint. Well, less models to paint, not easy. Martin, can I just swap my Warherd for yours? Yeah, I mean, I love Warherd. Brayherd are too, like, flimsy. Tomorrow, don't know if I'm supposed to say anything about this, actually. But tomorrow, me and Mike are playing a game of Age of Sigmar. And I'm bringing my Brayherd one-on-one versus his Skaven army. And I'm not sure whether it's a live show from Phil's house or whether we're filming it to put it up as a premium battle report. We will find out tomorrow. However, that's going to be quite a good one because I don't think the Brayherd can take on anything 1v1. But I think if anything, Skaven I might be able to have a chance against, depending on how much shooting Mike puts in his list. Because if he just puts out loads of Storm Fiends and mortal wounds my units, I'm dead before I even slap him in the face. So it's not going to happen. We'll see what happens. Owl must have had some network problems. Just got Sam's pretty face online. Johnny, I have a ton of stuff built but not painted. Would that be okay for this? Yeah, that's fine, Johnny. Again, we're not going to be too rigid on it. It's not like, oh, you've had your army for 10 years and it's been unpainted in your wardrobe and you're disqualified from entering. It's more to encourage everybody to do hobby. I think what we try to do as a channel anyway is we do it personally. We don't, there's tons of commission painters that are amazing out there that have offered to paint things for us as a channel. And I think we will start, getting certain things painted by people if they're still up for that. But personally, I prefer to paint everything. I like to do my army list myself. I like to do picking all of my colour schemes and then painting everything myself. So as a channel, we're very much invested in the hobby and creating and making things. And the stuff we do as a channel is meant to inspire and encourage other people to do the same with their hobby. So the tutorials that we do, they're not, I can't paint to a competitive level. One day I'd love to get there and actually have the patience to sit and learn certain techniques that will up my game. But I paint as trying to do things as quickly as possible with good colour schemes that are easy to replicate, so that people who are playing with grey plastic have a way to paint an army and put it on the table without it being grey all the time. And that's the idea behind the tutorials. Certain tricks, even if you're a more advanced painter, you might learn some bits and pieces that I do, but it's designed to get people to paint their armies and use it on the tabletop. Same with the gaming. We're not ultra competitive. We don't go to tournaments all the time. We're trying to start doing more tournaments because we definitely learn a hell of a lot when you do these tournaments. And they're a lot of fun as well. But we play the games for fun. So when we do our battle reports, we do get rules wrong. And we're not always going to get everything right. Doing a battle report is very different to just playing a game. And you'd be surprised how many mistakes you made if you filmed yourself playing a game and you watched it back. So, the battle reports that we do, the painting tutorials that we do, we're all encouraging to get gamers that are around our sort of level, that are the same as us. So the people that we try to get as viewers, the content that we put out is for people who are doing exactly the same as us, and that's the way we do it. And this Chronicles is just an extension of that. We're building armies. You've all got the same amount of models in your wardrobe that need painting, so do the same as us, and it just encourages us all to do it together. Carl is just here to watch you. Thank you, Carl. Coleman, same for all of us. We're just not so open about it. Daryl, nothing says ambitious like 3 Chronicles. Oh dear, what have I done to myself? I would have loved to have done 3 armies for the Chronicles, but I think 2 is more than enough for me because I want to start doing the tutorials again on the individual models. So I'm going to go for 2. If I get 3 done, brilliant, but I don't think so. Acharya saying, hey Sam, what about fancy terrain pieces or dioramas? Good point, Acharya. Yeah, if you want to do scenery, if you want to do display boards or anything like that, do it, because the other thing is if you're going to start doing tournaments with it, display boards are brilliant. They're a great way to tie your army together. They look fantastic and they're great for photography. Rustbelt talking about the Herald. Kiblams. PL is completely broken for my Dark Eldar army. Yeah, exactly. This is the point. I think power level is the ideal. I think points is the way to play. Even if you want to be nice and you're playing against somebody who wants to have a good game and they're playing power, they still accidentally destroy you because they're taking an extra 30% of an army. Which if you're playing a real life army battle, whatever, then you don't walk up to the battlefield and say, let's play even points. You bring your 10 blokes and I'll bring my 10 blokes. That's not what happens in warfare and in history. But we're playing a war game where it's supposed to be even. In my head, this is my opinion, where it's supposed to be even, equal opportunities to be able to destroy each other. But fair. You know, I see wargaming as chess with loads of extra art and detail and stuff chucked into it. But I know a lot of people don't really care about that, and they're quite happy to put their entire battleground, fill the battleground with every model they've got, and they just play games. That's absolutely fine as well. It's just my own personal opinion. Samuel High saying points disparity can be insane in power level games. Some lists come out to be, it skipped, 1,800 points, and others will be well over 2,200. Yeah, exactly. And that's the downside to it. Smarty, Sam paints at a high level. I try to paint at a higher level, but not always. Matthew Judge should come up to the Battlefield Birmingham doubles to 40k tourney in June. I'd love to be able to, but I haven't got a 40k army, and by June I don't think it'll be painted, because it's either Black Dragons or White Scars. White Scars I haven't even built or converted anything, and Black Dragons, yeah, they take a while to paint. I've done 6 models. 7 if you count the repulsor, which is a big one. That's going to be worth at least 10. Ian, I'm doing 2 tournaments this year. London, although saying that Phil might be able to go, because him and Jack have got loads of 40k armies, so I might see if he'll go on in June. Ian's doing 2 tournaments, London Grand Tournament and Heat 3, both Age of Sigmar. Well, congratulations, Ian, and I wish you all the best of luck. I'm sure you'll have fun, and I'm sure you'll be seeing a lot of Siege. Oh my god, I apologise for this coughing. It's when I'm talking a lot. I need to get Phil back on, because he talks a lot for me, so I can just stay quiet and rest my throat. But when it's just me, should I just not talk for a bit and let you all just chat away? It'll be fine, won't it? WGO Chronicles is a great way to get motivation. Johnny Rockstar, I have a shelf of shame to encourage me to paint stuff. Unfortunately, by my calculations, I need another 3 shelves. Mawson has counted the Dark Imperium, so Primaris come up at around 800, Death Guard at around 650. Oh, I'm a moron. I genuinely, when you said Dark Imperium, I thought Dark Vengeance for some reason in my head. Yeah, I don't know what the Dark Imperium is, but 800 to 650 looks about right. I knew the good side is always more points than the evil side. Evil side, misunderstood side. Does the forum have a for sale section? It does have a commission section. We could do a for sale section, but obviously we're not going to be responsible for anything. Sip some water to keep throat hydrated. Yeah, I've got it, but I don't like sitting drinking on stream. Phil doesn't either, he tells me off. Does the forum have for sale? So we could have that on there, but the problem is if somebody gets cheated out of money or models one way or the other, then we would kind of feel responsible. So we could put it up there, but then have no ties to it, and it's up to everybody to do what they want. But it might need more moderation, potentially. I don't know. I'd like to say yes. I'd like to say we could put it on there. And for now, just maybe chuck it in the commission section. Maybe. I might just chuck a sale for him in there somewhere for you to use. I have an entire loft of shame. Marty, I see Wargaming as a movie. That would be cool if we did Wargaming as a movie, or somebody did Wargaming as a movie. Or I guess what you're saying is maybe seeing the actual battle of Wargaming as a movie. I really wish they would do a movie or a TV series. I think a TV series of the Horus Heresy would be up there as one of the top series. It would beat Game of Thrones, hands down. It would beat anything, I think, for me. And I think a lot of people not interested in the hobby would get into the hobby just because of watching the Horus Heresy as a TV series. And I think with the lore and background and cool stuff that's come into Age of Sigmar, I honestly think it's better than the old world stuff was. The old world is like old fantasy. The new Age of Sigmar lore is, they can do whatever they want with it, and they're blending it in so well. It's really good. Obviously you need a ton of CGI. It would be like watching Avatar, but it would be cool if they had the budget and the studio that could produce something really good. The only problem is if it's rubbish. That's the only problem with it. Neil Molden, I play games for fun. Winning is just a byproduct. Yeah, and you know the tournament that we went to, I said I didn't care about winning. And I genuinely didn't, because I took Brayherd for a start. As you know, they're not great. But then I felt bad. I felt if I was bringing Patrick down, then that would be bad. But Patrick killed everybody, so it was fine. And then the more he was doing well, I was kind of going, yeah, we're going to do well. And at the beginning, I thought, I don't really care what happens. I just want to roll some dice and have fun. Towards the end of the tournament, when it got to the WargamerOnline 4 teams that went, when it came down to us or Pink and Steve, that between the two of us was going to be the highest score out of the 4 teams, and our last game was against them. I have to say, I was thinking, I wish we win. I hope we win this game just so we can beat Pink and Steve. That's all I wanted to do, and I kind of feel bad about it, but I don't at the same time. And then we ended up 5th place somehow. Well, Patrick, we ended up 5th place out of the however many people went, 90 odd teams, which was ridiculous. Kibblams, I think Sam needs to embrace narrative gaming with fluffy scenarios and point disparity. Oh, just that word, those words, point disparity, that hurts. But maybe I should embrace it. The problem is, I do it against Phil, and Phil's the worst person to play against when he's winning. And especially if it's like I know exactly what would happen. We'd play a narrative game, and he would have, say, like double the amount of points. He'd wipe out everything apart from one model in one turn. And I'd go, well, I've got no chance. And he'd be like, don't be salty. And I'd be like, you've killed everything, Phil. What's the point in doing it? And he'd be like, well, you can still wipe out everything if I do nothing and you somehow roll 6s for the rest of the game. And he does that all the time. So I'm kind of like, no, that won't happen. But you're doing that to make me feel better. And that's what he does in games. If you're really losing, he'll say, you can do it. I believe in you. You'll be fine. And then he'll smash you and go, ooh, bad luck. And he does that. And it's just, I can't play against it. So I get saltier. That's what happens when me and Phil play games. It's why you don't see battle reports between me and Phil. Maybe we should do some so you can see it as evidence. Right. Oh my god, the chat's just going. The chat's just on and on and on, which is a good thing. I think eBay would be your best forum for sales. Yeah, exactly. There you go. It might be better. And there's loads of Facebook groups that do sales and stuff. I think bits. I mean, the amount of people I've given bits to through WargamerOnline over the last year that have said, "Oh, I've been after this," and I just send it to them, or like transfers, or heads, or basing bits, or even I think I sent somebody the decal, the transfer. No, they weren't even transfers. They were the little resin Black Dragon shoulder pads. I only sent a couple of them, but it's just nice to help people out whenever you can, and it's nice that people help back as well. Like Marty's offering to send me a bunch of heads and things, not real heads, Space Wolf miniature heads. That would be a bit weird. Ian Stanford just recovering from the flu, not painted for over a week. I haven't painted since the tournament, and I'm basically aware that I need to get back to painting, otherwise I'll lose it again. Red Cuffs would like to see a sales and trade section. Maybe we'll have a talk about it. It seems like people would like it, but we'll have to have a look. We'll have to have a chat with the admins. I'll chat to Phil. We'll see. Horus Heresy TV would be amazing. That's what they could call it. Or they could call it, I don't know, what could they call it? Magnus wasn't wrong or whatever it is. That would be good. Magnus was right. My friend wants to play against my Genestealer cult using his knights and armigers. What he doesn't know is I have a shadow sword standing. He's been bragging about his new knights all week. Well, you're about to crush your friend. It's a good job your friend puts up with that, Samuel. Because the problem is, that's what we used to do, and it used to become an arms race. We've been playing Magic the Gathering recently, and I played 4 games against Rachel last night, and she beat me every single time because she brought out these cards that were just ridiculous. And I said, this is the example of why it becomes an arms race, because you have to keep escalating to keep up. And it's the same in Warhammer. Somebody brings an infantry man, you bring an infantry man, then they put a gun on that infantry man, so you have to match it. And then they bring a tank, so you bring a bigger tank, and then it just keeps escalating. And by the end of it, you've bought Forge World's back catalogue. And you don't have a house, because you spent it all on resin. Natha99, I'm glad to see the elves coming after such a long time. And they are fitting into the aesthetics and the lore of Age of Sigmar. And this is the thing that I really like, is the fact that they've taken the old world and the end times lore, they've made it work with Age of Sigmar, and it's awesome. Even the Stormcast Eternals, which I wasn't too keen on at first, the fact that they're heroes, every Stormcast Eternal is a hero from, they die on the battlefield, but it's not like they go, oh, they died on the battlefield in the old world, in the end times. That's not what they're talking about. They're talking about in the Age of Sigmar, or in the Age of Chaos, or in the Age of Myth. in all that time, there were big heroes that basically fought against chaos and stuff. And when they died, they called out to Sigmar. Sigmar said, "Yeah, no worries, mate. You can join my legion." And they put him in a suit of armor and put him in a chamber. So I quite like that aspect of it. Things like the Paladors as well. So I don't know if anyone's aware, but the Vanguard hunters have to bond with their Paladors, and the way they do that is the Paladors sit in a bush waiting, watching these hunters fight against the odds or whatever. So there could be like 20 marauders of chaos fighting one hunter, and it's obviously is against the odds and stuff. And if he could take down 10 or 12 of them, and then this Palador waits until the last moment when this Stormcast dude's about to die, and the Palador will jump out and save him. And the reason he's left it is to see how heroic and how much the Stormcast has got the fight in him to fight chaos. And if they've got enough, then the Palador will go, "Yeah, all right, you can ride me for the rest of time now." So he sits on his back and it's his mount. There's other ways that they can bond with the Paladors, which so say the Palador's hunting its prey, the Stormcast will follow the prey and the Palador, and they kill the prey at the same time. And that's another way that the Paladors will see them as, you know, good enough sort of thing. So I like that they've chucked in this background for why they've got the Paladors in their armies. One thing I don't get is the Stormcast dudes, when they die, they get flashed up to the heavens, no problem. But what happens to the Paladors? You know, they've gone through all this escapade of becoming bonded with a Palador, and they charge up against the Bloodthirster, and the Stormcast's like, "Yeah, it's cool, I'm going to go back to the heavens." And the Palador's like, "What?" Say again? You just charged into here because what? And they just die. That's not good. That's not good at all. But the elves, the new elves. I mean, if I wasn't waiting for Malarian, I could probably see myself doing the Deepkin. Honestly, just watch the video at 10 o'clock. It's not the greatest video. It's probably, you know, there's tons of people that do lore videos better. I've just tried to do a video. You know, it's a 30-minute video, and it goes through the background of the elves, who they are, where they came from, what they do, and why they do it. And it also gives you a bit of information about the three castes which are in their army, and some of the creatures that they've got. Bloody awesome though. Right. Top tip for people who never decide to do a Space Marine army in a fire colour scheme. Yeah, don't do that. Semi-blended corn red to Avalon Sunset. Unless you've got an airbrush or a lot of time, don't do it. Yeah, you lose 15% on eBay, that's true. But then you lose 15% because of the guarantees and stuff like that, and the protection, the buyer protection. And also because eBay's a business. I think we'll see 2 more elf factions in the future. Oh yeah, 100%. I think there's definitely 2 on the way. I think so. Part of the story for the Deepkin is, without going into too much detail, the Slaanesh basically ate all of the elves, or started digesting the elves, and the Deepkin were the last to be digested because they were hiding in the oceans. They were praying to their sea god, and they were the last to be eaten by Slaanesh. So they were the first to be released when Malarian, Teclis, and Tyrion freed them. So they were the first to be released. There's more elves on the way, and I've heard rumours of there definitely being some form of high elves with wings, so like angelic elves, which would be, I mean, I'm waiting for Malarian, that's the stuff I'm waiting for, but angelic elves with like angel wings, yeah, I'd probably do them as well. Out of the 3, you know, you've got fish people, angelic winged people, and evil bat, demon, Malarian, shadow nonsense. Malarian and the angels are up there as the first 2, and the sea people are they're the third ones. But I think there's definitely at least going to be 3 factions. Then obviously you've got the Wanderers, which will probably be the 4th, if they're going to update them or do something else with them. Samuel's saying, we will see 2 more elves. High elves are due to show up soon, and dark shadow elves, not Daughters of Cain, most likely as well. I think they're going to be called Sons of Balerion, just because I've said it so many times now. So if they change it to anything else, I'll just not remember it. I'm curious how Malarian, formerly known as Malekith's faction, would turn out to be. I think it's going to be a lot of not teleporting, but shifting into the shadows. I think you're going to have the assassins and the There's going to be a lot of shadow stuff based around Malarian's army, I think. That's what I'm hoping for. So like really cool cloaks, masks, hoods, assassin sort of things, and poisons and creeping around, and obviously you're going to have the bat creatures, and Malarian's going to be half bat vampire looking creature as well, mixed with his dragon. I'm really excited to see what they do with it, because I love the dark colour schemes. I always generally do a dark colour scheme as much as I can, and Malarian's perfect for that. Oh, you don't want real space wolf heads, right? Well, whatever you got. Viva la Jack, I'll send you my poxwalkers to faint. No worries, Jack. Well, Jack's doing a good job. So Jack and Carl and Reese, they all play on the Xbox with me. And Jack has just started 40k, which is, pretty good. It's an example of why this channel is worth doing, because somebody who's, played Games Workshop stuff in the past, but hasn't been interested until checking out the channel, and now is interested in doing 40k, and he actually finds it therapeutic. So sitting painting. Not only that, but he's got the persistence to actually prime his model with a brush rather than a spray can, which is, more willpower than I ever got. If I have the choice of painting something by hand, like priming it by hand, or not priming it, I won't prime it. It will sit in the shelf until I get some spray. So more power to you, Jack. Martin, how about I donate my no fear death card to WGO for passing on? Oh god, we're gonna have so many. I love the death card. What are the big? I think they're called the Death Shroud. They're amazing. I didn't realise how big they were. And Malarian's awesome. I'm not too keen on the Poxwalkers because there's so many of them and they're all very similar posers. But the rest of the stuff, the Death Guard, are amazing. But the only problem is Jack basically does all of Nurgle. So Jack will basically Bagsy it whenever it comes out. So as good as they are, I'll never get a look in on Death Guard, which is fine because elves are going to be my thing. I think they slipped a picture of one of their units into the Character and Overlords book, but could be wrong. I mean, the picture that's been shown of Malarian is a bat-type dragon creature with crazy horns coming off his head. How do I feel about the Sea Elves? Check the video at 10 o'clock, but I think everyone said it's amazing so far, Andrew. I think you're going to see some really good thematic armies because of the way that their background works. They've got these laws of magic called spheres. Spheres? And they all do different things. You're not going to need to watch the video. Anyway, so some of their magic, they've got it separated into different things. So they've got healing, a sphere based on healing and being a doctor sort of thing. They've got builders, so they use their magic to build all of the cities. They have a magic law dedicated to taming beasts. So that's how they get all these sea creatures, the eels and the seahorses and all that sort of stuff. And the sharks. They have, after that, you've got the elementalists. They're called tide casters. And they're basically elementalists, so they can control the water. So the one thing I didn't really know is how the hell did they get these sharks and turtles flying around the deserts and the normal lands when they're supposed to be in the sea. And it's these tide casters that create an ether sea around their armies so that they can do all of their stuff that they would normally do in the sea on land. So that's their job basically. And then there's a whole section, there's about 3 or 4 different laws, different spheres based around the soul. One of them is all about like an accountant. They've got to track all of the souls that they've got and send people off to raids to get more souls when they need them. Another one is all about killing stuff and reaping the souls so that they can, that's what the raids are for. They've got to try and get as many souls as possible. And there's another one which is basically like a navigator. So if you knew 40k and 30k, you've got your navigators in your ships. These are basically navigators in their boats or however they're getting around on their sea creatures, and they navigate so that they can go through all of the different realms to areas where there's plentiful souls that they can reap. So it's really cool. Daryl, are we able to edit our posts on the forum just so I can keep the first post and edit what I've completed out of my pledge? Coleman says yes, so yes. Thank you, Coleman. Let's be honest, GW are on fire. They are 100% on fire, Andrew. Nathan likes seahorses. It's good to know. I forgot the name of the seahorses now. The ones that there's they're called. There's basically kings and queens, and they ride the horses, seahorses. Marlborough. Horus Heresy short film Death of Hope on YouTube. Okay, awesome. Johnny, I can't think of a single model they have put out in the last 2 years that I don't like. Yeah, I think every model they've done is great. Certain ones are similar, but they're not bad. Shadow Drakes on page 17. Right, you're going to have to chat amongst yourselves for 1 second while I check this out, because Rustbelt has said there's some pictures of Shadow Drakes on page 17 of the Caradron Overlord book, so I'm going to have to check this. No, my iPad's broke. Don't break on me. Tom's just messaged me on Facebook as well saying, hey mate, I have some Space Wolf heads spare. I'll post them on Monday if you need them. I'm going to be having an overabundance of Space Wolf heads, but that's, I mean, I can never get too many Space Wolf heads, so definitely, Tom, if you've got spare ones, I'm like the collector of heads. If you've got any cool heads, I will use them at some point. Right, so let's have a look. Another thing actually, Humble Bundle. If anybody uses the internet, which you all are doing right now, go on humblebundle.com. You've got 3 days left, and there's a bundle where you can get a bunch of Black Library books. And I bought them all. It's cost me £10, and I got tons of books. I don't know how many. There's so many novels. There's about 3 audiobooks, but there's a load of stuff to read. So if you're interested in reading some background between 40k, 30k, and Sigmar, it's mainly 40k and Sigmar. £10, and you get a huge Humble Bundle with all of it. Right, rules AOS. Let's go to Caradron Overlords. Where's my Caradron book? Oh, there it is. I thought I deleted it again. I have to download it again. Right. Page 17, you say? Oh, snippety snap. What are they? What the hell are they? Right, I don't know if you're going to be able to see this. Look, yeah, you can. Look at that. Ooh, ooh. I never saw that. They're like... I don't even know what they're like. That is awesome. Oh, thanks for showing me that. I'm going to have a closer look at the artwork in these books. Malarian or Malekith, having grown a resentment towards the elves in general, almost the same way like Alariel, would be an interesting take on how he'd shape his own creations. Well, if it's anything like those demon things, then it's all good. Alkirkham wants to see how they play Malarian and Marathi off each other. Yeah, I mean, there's a bit weird in the old world, because Malarian and... Well, Malekith and Marathi. Marathi is Malekith's mum, but also his lover. So, a bit weird. And I think they did wake up in the realm of Shadow together, but they went off to do their separate things. She went off and went all snaky, and he's going to go off and be all dragony. They basically got messed up, so we'll see how it happens. Dunny Woods. Oh, Big Rich is here as well. Welcome, Big Rich. Dunny Woods. It's kind of weird if Malarian is a monster, a sneaky type creature, because Malekith was always the more orderful side of Dark Elves with his Blackguard and regiments of Dread Spears and such, in my opinion. Yeah, I mean, he wasn't very subtle. I think there'll be 2 parts to the army. I think there will be the assassin and sneaky side, but then there'll be the regimented... almost like honor guard side, but I think they're going to be a lot more messed up this time. So I think there's going to be a lot of, maybe not teleporting, but I almost think like Nightcrawler, that sort of teleporting, being able to shift through shadows and things. And I think they'll have maybe the ability to do that. Maybe not really graceful like a witch elf, but they'll be able to just pass through objects or something like that. Either that or it'll just be the assassins and things that are going to be limited to that. I don't know. Martin Dixwell, hit me an address and I'll post them. It's just so many heads. I am the head collector. He underwent some transformation though now, even if he is the incarnation of Azurian. Yeah. Ralph. Hey peeps, just checking in for a few. Gonna watch the show tomorrow. That's perfectly fine, Ralph. Thanks for checking in. Hope you're well. And Nathan's saying, so they are Age of Sigmar's merfolks. Kind of, but not. They are different, but they are similar at the same time. Rustbelt's thinking the Malarians' army will be the Drakes, and the Dark Elves units blended together like Serpents and Marathi. Yes, I think that's definitely a potential. Tervindar, Deep Mare, that's it. Yeah, the seahorses are called the Deep Mare. Thank you for that. Give Sam head. Thanks, Kablams. Daryl's struggling with the edit button. I'd probably struggle as well, Daryl, and I think Coleman will sort you out. I thought Quick Head Taker was discontinued. Shiner Chen, head collector. So Sam is the real life version of Khorne. I am indeed. I really, you know what? That's true. I want to do World Eaters in 30k, and I want to do Khorne in Age of Sigmar. And it is. Khorne does draw to me, and I've never done them. Maybe that is my army that I should do. 12 Neef is saying the Humble Bundle has 3 audio dramas too. Yeah, I think, is it audio? Maybe it's audio dramas then. I know there was 3 audio things, but I haven't downloaded them because the books I can download onto the iPad, but the audio books I have to download on this instead. And I paid for it while I was going to sleep. I was like, yeah, I need that. Quick, buy it. Oh, okay, so you can't edit your posts on the forum, but you just message the admins and then they can do it. So Ralph and Coleman and I think maybe Amit can edit stuff on the forum for you. Malekith was the one who pushed her into that portal that allowed chaos to invade into the world due to her reckless use of magic, yeah. Yeah, that's going to be an awkward reunion. Rustbelts, yeah, same shadowy or maybe manipulation of smoke like Deepkin with Mist, but a different game mechanic. Yeah, I think that's what I'm expecting. It could be completely different, but we'll have to see. Daryl, they've already met. Presumably when Slaanesh spat her back out, there's a little blurb in the starter set. But yeah, I remember that, but I can't remember what they did. I know they both woke up in the lore of Shadows, and they were like, oh, we're different. And then they went off and did their own thing. I got to the end of the chat at the end of the show. Wow. What else was I going to talk about something else. So we've talked about the Chronicles, which is good, and I'm hoping that there's going to be a load of people that are going to be involved again like last year, because we're going to have a nice compilation at the end of it. It's going to go to August, so there's plenty of time for that. So what's the next match, Sam? Tomorrow, potentially, Rich. I said it may be myself versus Magic Mike. It's going to be Brayherd versus Skaven. So it's basically humanoid beast slapping each other into oblivion. And I'm going to bring the Gorgonzola cheese, I think I named him, at the tournament. Gorgonzola is going to eat some Skaven. That's the next match, if that's what you're talking about. So we talked about Chronicles. Johnny, after not a whole lot of thought, I will be doing Eldar for the WGO Chronicles and maybe my Warp Hunters Space Marines. That took a lot of convincing, Johnny. So I expect to see a lot of really cool projects from you like I did last year. Any questions, ask down below. Keep an eye out because it's going to be less than an hour for the Ideneth Deepkin book. I want feedback more than anything. Obviously, if you're not interested in elves, you probably won't like it. If you don't like listening to audio books, that's fair enough. Well, not audio books, audio background lore videos, then that's fair enough. I know some people like it, and I know I've had messages from at least, 9 people, 10 people now saying, you should do lore videos. When could you do lore videos? And I've said I wanted to do them this year, and I really didn't have much preparation because today I said I was going to do a video on the Ideneth, and a lot of people were asking again about the Chronicles. So I thought, you know what, I'll try and do a lore video in an hour to release on YouTube as a separate thing, and then we'll talk about the Chronicles on the chat instead. So that's what we've done. 10 o'clock, and I would like feedback if possible. So yeah, as a reminder, go to the forum, make a free account, make a project log, even if you do the same as me, where you just put your name, your army that you're going to do, and the system as a project thread sort of thing, and as a placeholder, so that when you start updating your army, you can then start updating that post, and then people can see what you're working on, and you can keep track of it. So other than that, what's going on next week? So the battle report potentially tomorrow if it's live. If it's not, it'll go up in premium, because we'll have to edit it and then we'll put it up on premium anyway. Monday, I think Phil will still be doing the Monday musing. So you've got tonight, potentially tomorrow, and possibly Monday. That's 3 videos. And then I don't know what's going on next Wednesday. Maybe we do another live video, live bat report, or we do a live chat with a bunch of people. We do a hangout again because we've not done one for a while. In the meantime, I'm going to be building my Chronicles Stormcast army. I will then probably start doing some tutorials again. That is the end of tonight. Stalker, thank you very much for the £20 donation. It is massively appreciated. Thank you to everybody who has turned up. There's been a solid 40 odd people on throughout this entire stream, so I appreciate everyone who turns up on a Saturday. It was something I never was thinking of doing, and you know, we're on the 12th one now, so the fact that people are still turning up to watch me mumble on a Saturday night makes me keep doing it every week. So thanks for you lot coming. 2 Horde armies collide, says Andrew. Yeah, it will be. Daryl saying, thanks again for another great show, Sam. I'm away to furiously figure out what I'm going to paint. Yeah, out of all of the armies. Kevin, WGO Chronicles, short term, will be getting my Daughters of Cain 2K up and ready for the AOS Heat 3. Post it up on the forum, Kevin, or on Facebook, or wherever you post your stuff, and tag me or WGO or something into it so we can see it. I love the Daughters of Cain models a little bit more now. I wasn't a fan at first, and I've been reading their rules. I quite like them now. And Thordalim de Caladai says, like people. I do like people. Oh, like like people. If you wouldn't mind pressing the thumbs up button on the video, then that would be very, yes, appreciated. I'm such a tool. Right, I'm going to go and eat my tea because I think we're having something. I don't know. We're having something to eat. And I'll see you all either tomorrow or next week. And you can all put your bets on whether Skaven or Beastmen are going to win. And a little tip, bet on Skaven. Right, I'll see you later.